The next iPhone is getting an always-on display? Let's talk about it. Welcome to Clean Tech, home of daily technology news and reviews, and today we're going to be talking about the fact that the iPhone 14 and the 14 Pro Max might be getting an always-on display. Today's video is brought to you by Clean Phone. More on them at the end of the video. So the headline is about as clear as it gets. iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max could finally get an always-on display. Let's jump right in. Apple may finally bring always-on display to the upcoming iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max, according to a report from Bloomberg's Mark Gurman. Apple could introduce the feature with iOS 16, allowing the iPhone to display a limited amount of information even when it's locked. Gurman says the iPhone's version of always-on mode could work similarly to the way it does with the Apple Watch Series 5 and up. The iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max will drop the lock screen's frame rate with always-on mode enabled, letting them conserve battery while the display remains powered on. It's unclear if the new iPhone will use the same low-temperature polycrystalline oxide or LTPO display Apple uses in newer watch models. These low-powered screens play a huge part in getting always-on mode to work properly, as they're built to keep devices from consuming too much power. That's the technology that you see on pretty much any, like relatively new smartphones these days, especially in flagships. Last year, analysts predicted that the iPhone 13 will come with an LTPO display to enable always-on display. A number of Android devices already support always-on mode and have for many years at this point. On certain Samsung devices, for example, always-on display can show the time, battery level, widgets, and more, all while the phone stays locked. Gurman expects the iOS 16 to come with similar functionalities, including wallpapers with widget-like capabilities. Always on display isn't the only feature said to be exclusive to the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max, as past leaks indicate that Apple may only include its new A16 chip with the two premium devices. Apple is set to announce a number of other changes as it's closely approaching Worldwide Developers Conference, or WWDC as it's more popularly known, on June 6th. In line with previous predictions, Gurman believes that Apple could introduce enhanced windowing and multitasking features on iPad. He cites findings from developer Steve Smith, I'm sorry if I butchered your name, who recently discovered that Apple may be working on a feature that could let users freely resize windows. Apple could overhaul some of its apps as well, in addition to adding new audio features to messages. Gurman predicts Apple will revamp its system preferences menu to take it more like the settings app on iOS. With WWDC a little more than a week out, we won't have to wait much longer to see how many of these predictions actually come true. So bottom line is, there's a lot more to expect from Apple in terms of like software enhancements and accessibility options. And the hardware, it's pretty straightforward. There's probably going to be some flashy stuff about the new camera or how they handle images, maybe the color science behind it. There's obviously the A16 chip powering everything, but in terms of usability and functionality, I personally know a lot of people who actually stick to Android solely because of the fact that it has always on display, or the fact that it has supported it for years at this point. Some people just can't really imagine their life without it, and it's a personal preference at this point, but it's a much needed, much awaited feature that's been missing out from Apple's arsenal for the longest time. So if there's any good time at all to put a feature like that out there, it's this year. Let me know your thoughts about it down in the comment section below. Clean Phone is the perfect phone for your kids because it allows you to manage everything on the phone remotely. It has tons of amazing features, such as easily allowing you to pick and choose which apps and games your child can use, provides you access to active phone monitoring, including SMS and phone call usage, allows you to control how long and how often your kids can use apps or the internet. You can even check their call and SMS logs, including inbound and outbound calls and messages, and is the perfect way to manage their screen time. Check them out in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching, and you have a great day.